Hey everybody, Phil, American Liberty Fighters. Want to put out a quick video on what happened earlier this week up in Oregon. I don't want to give my, I guess, I want to give only my opinion of what happened. I don't want to speculate on what really went down. I wasn't there. We weren't there, you know. Whoever's listening to this, unless you were an eyewitness there, you really don't know what happened. But with the aerial footage that the FBI has released and the eyewitness accounts of what happened with the women that were in the vehicle, it goes along the lines of this was not the force used wasn't necessary. I don't really believe they had to kill Lavoie in order to take everyone into custody. I think they did that to make a point. Honestly, the man had his hands up. From what I'm looking at, the man had his hands up. It looks like he was shot and reached for where he was shot at, and then instinctively, so he wouldn't get shot again, tried to put his hands back up and was then shot numerous times yet again. I said in a video earlier, once when this first happened, that I didn't think this group had a very good plan. Whether or not the facility they took control of was closed for season or not really doesn't matter. They went into a federal facility armed with the intent of controlling the facility, a federal facility that the state of Oregon, the governor of Oregon, has given the federal government the right to have and maintain in the state of Oregon. So in actuality, they were illegally occupying the facility. What baffles me at this point is state authorities, federal authorities allowed these people to go back and forth to meetings. They spoke with them openly. They were cordial. To my knowledge, there wasn't a lot of issue with this group within the town. I'm hearing reports or other people talk about how the locals were wanting them to leave and didn't want them there, and I'm sure that there were some people that were wanting them to go because they didn't want to hear about it, they don't want to deal with it. That's kind of everything that we have right now with every area when you're dealing with state, local, federal governments, dealing with voting, dealing with knowing things, knowing your rights. People don't want to really know. They don't want you to show them how wrong they are or how far their rights and privileges have been eroded away, because then they get scared, they panic, and then what do? There's nothing they can do. They don't know what to do. So I think, honestly, the man was killed. He was murdered. He was. It was a definite. The Oregon governor writing her letter to the Obama administration requesting that they end the siege, end the occupation immediately, as quickly as possible, in whatever means necessary. She's very much to blame for what happened. But again, for me, Amon Bundy and those that were with him were also at fault, because they went in with the intent of holding this facility, and they went in armed. So for myself, I would have thought, if you didn't agree with the BLM demanding that they prosecute the Hammonds again, and that the Hammonds losing that in court would then have to serve out their time on the sentence for the minimum amount of time that they were going to have to serve, as well as the penalties. I don't agree with that. I think that's double jeopardy, honestly, for me. And I think that the law they used to prosecute them, it was just stupid. It was all a ploy for the BLM to make sure that they would be able to get this rancher's land from him at some point. They didn't want to wait any longer. They've been fighting with these people for long enough, and they want the land. I think the best thing that, if you, and you can call me unpatriotic if you want, I've heard it all. I really don't care. I give a crap less. I'm as patriotic as I need to be. I'm a patriotic individual who happens to have a freaking brain, and there was no way I was going to go up there armed and go sit with these folks in a facility knowing what the outcome would be, because A, they didn't have an in-game plan, and B, the plan they had was kind of sketchy in my book. I would have thought maybe more along the lines of having, in every state that you could get people to do it, having them maybe rally to the Hammonds' support in going to every federal court building and picketing or protesting out in front of every single courthouse, a federal courthouse, to make sure that the entire nation knew what was going on. You got people that don't really know and don't understand the situation, so they're not going to be very sympathetic. So to me, that would have been a lot better than rather to go and arm yourselves and go take over a building. It doesn't serve any purpose other than to make those ranchers and those who support them look stupid and look like they deserve what they got. So, you know, for me, I don't agree with what's going on. I don't think the BLM is constitutionally legal. But then again, I think Congress is giving away their power, you know, daily. They don't. I don't think Congress, those in Congress, are representatives who are supposed to go represent us. I don't think they really want to do their job in Congress. I think they want to go there, get their pay, and then retire 40, 50 years down the line, and then get a paycheck for not doing anything then. You know, their retirement. So, and while they're serving, they don't really do what we are wanting, what we are asking. We get told, we're so sorry, we tried, we couldn't get it through, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. When in actuality, both sides are working together to screw the American people. And there are so many people in America now, so many citizens that don't know what their rights are. They don't know what the Constitution is. They don't know how we came about to get the Constitution. They don't really know what kind of government we have. They don't understand our history. And honestly, they don't care about our history. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about our rights. They care about the free crap that the government's going to give them. So until we can teach and impart wisdom into all the people, or a majority of the people. This is the kind of government we're going to have. These are the kind of issues we're going to have. Having Donald Trump as a president, I don't know. He agrees with eminent domain. I'm not quite sure if Ted Cruz agrees with eminent domain, but I would surely hope not, because Ted Cruz actually is the candidate I'm looking at. Don't get me wrong, I haven't made my mind up completely, but at this point, that's who I'm thinking of. Rubio's not even on my radar. Huckabee, I used to think a lot about Huckabee, but he's not on my radar because he wants to ride the coattails of Donald Trump. And there's, Santorum, no, he's not really on my radar. The other guy, Kasich, I don't like him. He's a liberal and a Republican, wording. I don't know. I'm going to vote at some point. Once I figure out who it is, I'll figure out who I vote for then. But at this point, I don't think any candidate is going to do what the ranchers are going to want them to do, unless the country understands and knows what the rights of the people really are, and we start taking back the power that the people had, that we gave to the Congress, that Congress is giving away to the executive branch and to the judicial branch. I don't know. Maybe you don't agree with me. That's fine. It's free country for now. So I've listened to a lot of other people on YouTube, other people that have YouTube channels. I've read a lot of comments. All the way from one end of the spectrum of, this was they murdered him, they killed him, they shot him. And we need to rise up, and we need to fight back, and then on the other end of it, it was a legal kill. They had the right to do it. He was threatening them. He had already told them before that he didn't want to go to jail, that if he got caught, he wasn't going to be taken alive, that they were going to have to kill him. No, for me, it's I can't tell for sure without audio. But all the evidence for me points to the man had his hands up. He was giving up. He was surrendering to the authorities, and he was shot and killed. Without audio, we're never going to know. And with feds, you're never going to know anyhow. So what are you going to do, right? Again, I honestly think if we're still going to be talking about this and still going to be supporting this family or ranchers, I think that number one, we could rally those who are still willing to do something and protest in front of federal courts. Ranchers that are going through these problems, when they get fined like this, then you take up a donation, and you make sure these families don't have to sell out their property to the BLM. You make sure that they're well funded. You make sure that they can pay their bills, they can pay their fines, and that they don't have to do all that crap. Those are the things I think we should be doing, along with starting to elect those who we need to have elected into office, instead of those who we're stuck electing into office. Again, this is just my thoughts. I was cleaning out my garage and thinking about what I would say and trying to figure it out. I've taken the whole week since this happened on Tuesday. I've taken this entire week. It's Sunday now. Trying to, I didn't want to put a video out where I just blatantly said that I felt the FBI had killed the man outright. But then again, I don't want to say that they had the right to shoot him the way they did. I I watched the video a few different times. I listened to the account of the woman that was in the vehicle along with him, and I read a lot of comments. And for me, it's just mind-boggling the lack of compassion that some people have. These people weren't terrorists in any fashion. They're ranchers. They're Americans that were standing up for a right they believed that that was being infringed upon. And if we can't do that, then we have no redress. And that in the Constitution states that we have the right to redress. And if this is the way the federal government is going to answer the redress, then we're in a world of hurt. Anyhow, thanks for listening. It's just my opinion. I appreciate everybody listening to what I had to say. If you agree with me, like the video, share the video. If you didn't agree, hey, you can go ahead and give me a thumbs down, but at least give me some, comments down below. Let me know what you didn't think I was right on or what you disagree with. Anyhow, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Hope everybody's had a great weekend, and guess I'm gonna go back to working on my garage. Thanks again. God bless.